And it's not because she's white. It's not because she's straight. It's because she's an unbelievable basketball player and talent. It's because she has a game style that we've never really seen before. We were watching last year's games. I promise you, I was watching Iowa women's basketball. Not because a woman out there that was playing was straight or white. It was because a woman was pulling up from half court looking like a Stephen Curry. She's like the Stephen Curry of women's basketball. It's not just because of her, blah, 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 blah. Last night our game was sold out and she didn't play. Last night we flew charter and she wasn't on that flight. Let's stop it. It's not a coincidence you guys are just now chartering flights her rookie year. If in sports were a band and they were in sync, she would be Justin Timberlake. She was the main attraction. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about that. All right? Not a coincidence. It's the Caitlin Clark effect.
We're not used to seeing women emotion like in the public like that, in the sport like that. Like we used to it being proper and and having sportsmanship and like you found somebody, you pick them up and say I'm sorry. Like we women, like we, what I mean? This is what we do, but basketball is different.
The women's game, they're just straight ballers, right? And first of all, what did you expect was going to happen to her? Number one, I don't think it's jealousy. Oh my God, she's getting all the endorsements. We're going to go after her. You're playing at the highest level. You're playing in the WNBA. You're coming from college and you're going to the pro ranks, right? What did she expect was going to happen? Why are people so shocked, right? You're playing against grown women. The same thing happened to us as rookies, right? Going against MJ, they're out there trying to embarrass you, right? It's nothing personal, right? It's just the level between college. First of all, you go from high school, and it's a learning curve when you go to college. And then from college, when you go to the highest level, it's going to be a learning curve. There's only so many rookies that's ever been successful.
These girls go out here and win a national championship, and all we want to talk about is a celebration that happened towards the end of the game. I'm here to tell y'all it's not a problem. It is what it is. This is basketball. It's a very competitive sport, and if I want to throw in your face after I beat you, you can't see me, guess what? Ain't nothing you can do about it. Caitlin Clark, you are incredible. Game changer. Angel Reese, champ. Keep talking your shit. Keep doing what you do. Keep winning and keep letting them hear about it. Keep letting them hear about it. Because guess what? When you lose, they gonna let you hear about it. So when you win, you let them hear about it. You keep doing your thing. Much respect, Queen. Much respect and congratulations on the championship.
Claim you want the women's game to grow, and then you keep the most popular girl in women's basketball off the team. How do you grow internationally and domestically if you don't put her on the U.S. team? It just makes the most sense. Sometimes you have to say, hey guys, this is bigger than the game, which it is.
Her three-point shooting overall, her flair for testing her range every night and knowing that the other team's going to try to take it away. And she's fearless. No shot is a bad shot, and when you can shoot it as well as she can. She just adds another element of surprise that you can't really game plan for because it's so kind of just unseen.
41 points, 7 rebounds, and 12 assists. How you guard somebody like that?
You can't. I mean, it's crazy. 40 and 12, like scoring and then getting everybody involved. What she's doing is unbelievable.
How you guard somebody who not only is a threat that far away from the basket, but can actually get by you and can finish around the rim? That just creates problems.
At the beginning of the game, she was just driving to the basket. She was getting layup after layup. And so at some point, the defender that's guarding her way out on the perimeter because they don't want her to shoot threes is going to sag off and be like, okay, I'm just going to stop. I'm not going to let her just keep driving by me. She was dribbling with her left, and then she was using her hang dribble just to read if she was going to be able to blow by her defender or not. And she was just doing step backs and side steps and dribbling in the lane, dribbling back out, and then shooting threes. But it started with her getting to the basket, getting some layups, getting easy ones, getting some and ones to start the game. Like, you could tell that she had a plan on what she was doing all night.
She was always leading that. She always had the ball in her hand. Everybody was playing off of her. She just commanded the whole game. I was like, who the hell is this? She is nice. It was like, oh, she the best player in the country. I was like, oh, damn. I see it now. Like, you know,
right.
Like when you walk in and you don't even know who anybody is, and they just be like, yo, that's the best player in the country right there. It's just like, yo, that hit you out of nowhere. Like, let me really focus in on her. They showing some stuff out there, like,
from a skill standpoint and creativity standpoint that is just like, it's hard to deny that.
Hey there. Today, we're diving into something that's creating a lot of buzz, both on and off the court, NBA players' reactions to Caitlin Clark. If you're even a little tuned into basketball, you've probably heard Caitlin Clark's name making waves across sports media. From her fearless gameplay to her record-breaking stats, Caitlin has gained attention not just from fans, but from top NBA stars as well. Let's break down how some of the biggest NBA players reacted to her performances, her style, and what her presence means for the future of basketball. 1. Caitlin Clark's rise, why the NBA is taking notice. First, let's set the stage. Caitlin Clark has been redefining what's possible in women's college basketball. Standing out for her electrifying three-point shots, impressive scoring averages, and leadership on the court, Caitlin quickly caught the attention of basketball enthusiasts worldwide. In an era where women's sports are finally beginning to receive the spotlight they deserve, Caitlin's emergence as a top scorer and leader is impossible to ignore. NBA players, who know the grind and the glory of elite basketball, can't help but recognize her talent. Many NBA stars, from Steph Curry to LeBron James, have publicly commented on her skill, style, and the grit she brings to the game. When Caitlin led her team to significant victories with her high-scoring games, NBA players took to social media, showing admiration and even a bit of amazement. To them, Caitlin isn't just another player. She's someone breaking barriers and setting new standards in women's basketball. The combination of her skill set, court vision, and passion aligns with what top NBA players respect in the sport. 2. Steph Curry's reaction, a splash sister in the making. One of the most notable NBA players to react to Caitlin Clark's game is Steph Curry. Known as one of the best shooters in NBA history, Curry couldn't help but notice Caitlin's shooting skills, often drawing comparisons between her shooting style and his own. Fans have even dubbed Caitlin the female Steph Curry for her shooting range and precision. So, what does the king of three-pointers himself have to say? Steph tweeted out his admiration for Caitlin during one of her standout games, where she effortlessly drained multiple three-pointers from well beyond the arc. He even joked about wanting her to join the Splash Brothers, hinting at his respect for her skills. To have a legend like Steph acknowledge Caitlin's talent speaks volumes about her impact on the game. Curry, who revolutionized the NBA with his three-point shooting, sees a similar spark in Caitlin that he himself brought to the game years ago. His response was a mix of admiration and a bit of lighthearted envy, as he knows the grind it takes to make those deep shots look easy. This comparison by Curry not only acknowledges her talent, but also validates the skill level required to compete at her caliber. 3. LeBron James, the King's words of encouragement. Another NBA superstar who has shown support for Caitlin Clark is none other than LeBron James. Known for his versatility and leadership, LeBron values players who can not only score but also elevate the entire team. When Caitlin posted one of her highest-scoring games, LeBron posted on Instagram with a shout-out to her. LeBron's reaction didn't just focus on her scoring ability. He highlighted her basketball IQ and court vision, noting that she brings a level of maturity and awareness to the game that's rare, even among professional players. LeBron often speaks out about the importance of mentorship and growth in sports, and he mentioned in an interview that he respects the drive and resilience Caitlin brings to the court. This recognition from LeBron emphasizes how Caitlin's game isn't just about the points she scores. It's her leadership, her understanding of team dynamics, and her intense work ethic that are drawing attention from one of the NBA's most respected players. LeBron's words serve as encouragement and a reminder that her influence on the court transcends the scoreboard. 4. Kevin Durant's approval. She's got that killer instinct. Kevin Durant, known for his competitive edge and scoring prowess, has also chimed in with his thoughts on Caitlin Clark. Durant has always admired players who aren't afraid to take risks, and Caitlin's fearless approach to basketball caught his eye. In a tweet, Durant praised her killer instinct and determination, comparing it to the mindset needed to succeed in the NBA. Durant, who has dealt with intense criticism for his moves on and off the court, respects Caitlin's confidence. He pointed out that her willingness to take the big shots and play through intense pressure shows that she's built for the big stage. Durant sees a bit of himself in Caitlin, especially in her willingness to be bold and carry her team when it matters most. This endorsement from Durant highlights Caitlyn's mental toughness, something often undervalued in sports. When a high-stakes player like Durant recognizes her grit, it's a testament to how her competitive nature is pushing boundaries in women's basketball. 5. Damian Lillard's take, a future star with limitless range. Damian Lillard, the Portland Trail Blazers star known for his range and clutch performances, has also praised Caitlin Clark. Lillard, often compared to Curry for his long-range shooting abilities, tweeted about Caitlin's impressive range and scoring consistency. He sees her as a player with a limitless range and pointed out how she can pull off shots that many NBA players struggle with. Lillard's reaction speaks to the technical skill Caitlin brings to the game. As someone who's experienced firsthand the challenges of shooting from deep, Lillard's admiration shows that Caitlin's talent goes beyond raw athleticism. He emphasized how Caitlin's confidence in taking those long-range shots is a rare quality and one that separates good players from great ones. 6. Trae Young, recognizing Caitlin's crafty playmaking. Trae Young, the Atlanta Hawks guard known for his skillful playmaking and scoring prowess, has been vocal about his admiration for Caitlin Clark's impressive basketball IQ. As a player who himself embodies creativity on the court, Trae couldn't help but notice Caitlin's unique ability to not only score, but also to set up her teammates for success. When Trae tweeted about Caitlin's game, he highlighted her knack for reading defenses, her impressive court vision, and the way she controls the tempo, all of which are hallmarks of a seasoned point guard. To Trae, Caitlin's style represents a refreshing blend of scoring ability combined with a selfless, team-centered approach that makes her an impactful and enjoyable player to watch. He's particularly impressed with her natural playmaking instincts, the way she uses her dribbling and passing skills to manipulate defenses, find open teammates, and open up opportunities that may not be obvious to others. In many ways, Caitlin's play style reflects the essence of a true floor general, a quality that Trae himself embodies and respects. Trae sees in her a rising star who not only has the scoring potential, but also the intelligence and leadership required to elevate her team's performance as a whole. Caitlin's understanding of spacing, timing, and her teammates' positioning on the floor reflects a maturity beyond her years. To Trae and other elite playmakers, it's this combination of skill and strategic thinking that makes her not only a standout, but a force in the making. Caitlin's play resonates with Trae, as they both share a vision for the game that goes beyond individual points, striving to bring out the best in their teams. 7. The broader impact of NBA players reacting to Caitlin Clark. NBA players' reactions to Caitlin Clark go beyond mere admiration. They signify a broader shift in the way women's basketball is viewed. For years, women's sports have been overshadowed by men's leagues, but players like Caitlin are helping bridge that gap. The acknowledgement and praise from NBA stars validate the hard work, talent, and passion within women's basketball, setting a new precedent for respect and recognition. These reactions from the NBA's top talent help elevate Caitlin and, by extension, women's basketball to a level where it's celebrated for skill, strategy, and excitement. When elite athletes recognize and support one another, regardless of league, it fosters a sense of unity in the basketball community. Caitlin's influence isn't just a win for her, but for all women athletes striving for respect and recognition. 8. Caitlin Clark's future, NBA players' hopes and predictions. As Caitlin's career progresses, NBA players' hopes and predictions for her future are also beginning to shape up. Many believe she could redefine the boundaries of women's basketball, making it more competitive and exciting to watch. Players like Curry, LeBron, and Durant hope that Caitlin's success will inspire young girls to pursue basketball, knowing they too can have the skill and confidence to go head-to-head with the best. NBA players' reactions suggest they see Caitlin not just as a standout in women's sports, but as a trailblazer who could inspire a generation of future stars. The influence of these NBA reactions to Caitlin Clark demonstrates that basketball is becoming a truly global game, with talent recognized and celebrated regardless of gender or league. From Steph Curry's admiration for her three-point game to LeBron's respect for her leadership and Durant's appreciation for her competitive drive, Caitlin Clark has officially caught the attention of some of the biggest names in the NBA. NBA players' reactions to Caitlin Clark are more than just casual comments. They're a recognition of her influence, talent, and the shift she's bringing to women's basketball. Caitlin's story is far from over, and as she continues to rise, the world of basketball watches with excitement, respect, and high hopes for what she'll achieve next.
This dude fought me every single day. And to the extent that my mother used to come out and make us come in because we were fighting way too much. And my older brother was always gone. He served in the Army for 31 years. And the competition didn't stop there. My sister, who was 1 year younger than me, Roz, never wanted to be home by herself. She took classes, extra classes to graduate from high school with me, to go to the University of North Carolina with me, and to graduate prior than me. And you guys sit and ask me where my competition or my competitive nature came from. It came from them. It came from my older sister. Who's not here today, and my father, who's not here today. Obviously, he's with us and all of us. I mean, my competitive nature has gone a long way from the first time I picked up any sport. Baseball, football, ran track, basketball, anything that missed class, I played it. When you think about, so they started the fire in me. That fire started with my parents. And then, as I moved on in my career.
Definitely upsetting. I don't think nobody in our league should be facing any sort of racism, hurtful, disrespectful, hateful comments and threats. Those aren't fans, those are trolls, and it's a real disservice to the people in our league, the organization, the WNBA. But there are a lot of really good fans, whether they've been fans for 20 plus years or whether they're new fans in our league. I think continuing to uplift this league in a very positive light is the best thing that we can do, because there are so many great players, there's so many great teams, there are so many positive storylines that can be written and celebrated. And for me, that's why I became a fan of this league, is these people were my idols. I grew up wanting to be like them. So I think continuing to uplift and, represent this league in a positive way is the best thing that we can do.
Michael Jordan, I don't ever want to meet him, don't ever want to talk to him. Just all the things that I hear about Michael Jordan, bad stuff that I hear about Michael Jordan.
He's a big gambler. Michael gambles on everything.
Do you have a gambling problem?
No, I enjoy it. It's a hobby. He was told to leave the NBA around the time that his father got murdered, because stories were about to come out that because of Michael's gambling habit, his father paid the price. And the NBA didn't want the press, so they asked him to leave for a while. That's when he went to play baseball.
You love gambling.
I do.
What's the biggest loss?
$3 million. All these nights that I play are little battles inside the war that I will fight in 24.
Like we talked about in our locker room after the game ended, where obviously people were pretty disappointed in the outcome. I think it gave us a taste of where we wanted to be. At the same time, I felt like we could have done a little bit more to help it get back here for a game 3, and that's what really kind of stunk about the whole thing. But I thought it gave us a taste of where we wanted to be, and that's exactly the message that Chrissy iterated throughout the locker room, and that our coaches kind of iterated when they talked, is just that, you have to let this kind of burn inside of you and let it kind of bother you in a way that it's going to drive you through the off season. How's it going to make you work? You got a taste of getting to the playoffs. Obviously, we haven't been there since 2016.
I would say, I think the biggest thing is, this is what I kind of set up my entire career, is like, nobody really believed other than myself. I think confidence, as a young girl, just have confidence, a young boy, have confidence in yourself and confidence in whatever you want to be. And I think that was the thing my parents instilled in me from a young age, is they never told me no. They told me no a lot about other things, but not in what I wanted to do, and what I wanted to be, and, the goals I wanted to chase after. And I would say that's the biggest thing is, you can say it, you got to work for it, you got to earn it. You don't ever want anything to be given to you. And I think that's what I'm most proud of throughout my career, is I've worked really hard to be in this moment. And that's where my confidence comes from. And I think that's the biggest piece of advice I'd give to the younger generation.
Hey there, want to hear what the greatest of all time has to say about a rising basketball superstar? This week, we're diving into Michael Jordan's statement on how he feels about Caitlin Clark and what it means for the future of basketball. 1. Recognizing Caitlin Clark's impact on the game. First, let's start with why Caitlin Clark has captured so much attention. Caitlin Clark, a standout talent in women's college basketball, has shown the world what relentless dedication, skill, and a bit of flair can do for the game. Known for her deep three-pointers, sharp court vision, and intense competitiveness, Caitlin has become a fan favorite. Her performance on the court doesn't just display talent, it brings a fresh energy that many say is reminiscent of the NBA legends. Now, enter Michael Jordan, the man who needs no introduction in the sports world. When Jordan speaks to a rising star, people listen. He's recognized Caitlin's dedication, her ability to handle pressure, and her clear love for the game. For a player of his caliber to comment on her skills, that's huge. Jordan has spoken out before on players who bring something unique to the game, and it's clear that he sees something special in Caitlin Clark. His acknowledgement sends a powerful message. Caitlin Clark isn't just talented, she has the potential to reshape women's basketball as we know it. 2. Comparing the grit and determination of Jordan and Clark. In his statement, Jordan didn't just praise Caitlin's raw talent, he emphasized her grit and determination qualities that defined his own legendary career. Michael Jordan was never just about scoring points. He was about overcoming every obstacle thrown his way, whether physical, mental, or situational, to achieve greatness. Jordan recognizes that same relentless spirit in Caitlin Clark, someone who not only takes on challenges, but embraces them with the same intensity he brought to the game. Caitlin's journey in basketball mirrors Jordan's in many ways. Both athletes faced immense pressure and high expectations early on, and both have dealt with criticism and setbacks. For Jordan, his career was a series of trials that he turned into triumphs, repeatedly proving himself by returning stronger after every hurdle. Similarly, Caitlin has been making waves since her high school days, showing she's unafraid of tough situations, whether it's taking a game-winning shot under pressure or standing tall against elite competition. This ability to rise to the occasion is a rare trait, and it's a quality Jordan deeply admires. Jordan's praise for Caitlin goes beyond her basketball skills. It's a recognition of her mindset and toughness, traits he values above all. He knows that true greatness in sports is rooted in resilience and the capacity to rise again and again, regardless of the obstacles. By pointing out these qualities in Caitlin, Jordan isn't just acknowledging her as a talented athlete, he's welcoming her into a circle of competitors who push their limits, who play with purpose, and who, like him, refuse to settle for anything less than greatness. Caitlin's story, in Jordan's eyes, is just beginning, and he sees in her a player with the mental and physical resilience to leave a lasting impact on the sport. 3. Caitlin Clark's influence on the next generation. One of the things Jordan highlighted in his statement was Caitlin's influence on young basketball players. When young girls and boys watch Caitlin Clark, they see someone who plays with passion, confidence, and an undeniable skill set. Jordan sees her as someone who can inspire the next generation, just as he inspired millions. Jordan spoke about the importance of role models, especially in sports, and how athletes like Caitlin have the power to make a real impact. For young fans watching her, Caitlin Clark isn't just another basketball player. She's someone who breaks barriers and shows that women's basketball has the same excitement and intensity as the men's game. Jordan recognizes that, just as he inspired young athletes to reach new heights, Caitlin is doing the same today. She's paving the way for future stars, inspiring them to take up the sport, push their limits, and believe in their potential. 4. The importance of skill and strategy in Caitlin's play style. Another aspect Jordan appreciated was Caitlin's unique play style, a rare blend of raw skill, strategic thinking, and bold decision-making. Jordan, known for his finesse and deep understanding of basketball, pointed out that Caitlin's abilities go far beyond pure athleticism. She has an acute sense of timing, space, and playmaking that makes her a standout talent. Jordan himself was celebrated for his deep strategic approach to the game, so his recognition of these qualities in Caitlin speaks volumes. Caitlin isn't just a shooter or a passer, she's a true playmaker. She reads the game with an intelligence that allows her to anticipate moves, outthink her opponents, and make split-second decisions that leave both defenders and audiences in awe. Jordan noted that this level of basketball IQ typically takes years of experience to develop, yet Caitlin has already shown it at such a young age. Her fearlessness in taking long-range shots, her ability to thread passes through tight defenses, and her poise under pressure make her a constant threat on the court. Jordan's acknowledgement of her skill set is significant, not only because of his high standards, but because it's rare for him to highlight such specific details in a player. His admiration suggests that he sees in Caitlin a future star who could very well redefine what it means to be a skilled point guard. For Jordan, Caitlin's talent isn't just impressive, it's a sign that the next generation of players can bring a new level of strategic thinking and skill to the game. 5. How Caitlin's presence is raising the profile of women's basketball. Jordan also commented on how Caitlin Clark is contributing to the growth and visibility of women's basketball, playing a pivotal role in shifting the perception of the women's game. It's no secret that women's sports often don't receive the same attention or coverage as men's, but players like Caitlin are starting to change that narrative. Her electrifying performances, incredible shooting range, and captivating style of play are drawing more fans, increasing viewership, and showing the world that women's basketball can be just as thrilling, competitive, and intense as the men's game. Jordan expressed admiration for the way Caitlin is putting a spotlight on the women's game, seeing parallels between her impact now and his own role in elevating the NBA during his career. Caitlin's success on the court, paired with her confident yet approachable personality, has been instrumental in bridging the gap between men's and women's basketball audiences. As more people tune in to watch her play, she's actively breaking down long-standing stereotypes and proving that women's basketball deserves a place in the mainstream sports conversation. Jordan sees Caitlin's influence as a vital step forward, an opportunity to inspire future generations of young girls and boys to pursue the game with equal fervor. He's thrilled that Caitlin is leading the charge, knowing her impact will extend far beyond her own achievements. In Caitlin, Jordan sees a player who can help transform women's basketball, giving it the recognition it deserves and opening new possibilities for the sport's future. 6. The mentality that sets Caitlin apart. Jordan's statement also focused on Caitlin's mental approach to the game, a topic he's particularly passionate about, as he believes that mental toughness often separates good players from the greats. Throughout his own career, Jordan was known not just for his physical skills, but for his relentless mindset, his ability to thrive under pressure, and his focus on constant improvement. When Jordan sees Caitlin's approach, he recognizes that same level of intensity and focus. Caitlin's mental toughness, her refusal to back down from high-pressure situations, and her drive to continuously elevate her game are qualities Jordan respects deeply. Caitlin steps onto the court with a level of confidence that's palpable, even from the stands or through a screen. Her ability to stay composed in high-stakes moments and bounce back quickly from setbacks are traits of a strong mental game that can't be taught easily. For Jordan, this resilience is perhaps more impressive than any natural skill or athletic ability. He spoke about how Caitlin's mentality, her unyielding hunger to win, her resilience in the face of adversity, and her relentless pursuit of excellence reminds him of his own journey in professional basketball. This mindset, Jordan believes, is the true mark of a competitor, someone who isn't just playing for today's win, but is also building a legacy that will outlast her career. In Jordan's eyes, Caitlin's mental strength sets her apart, as it allows her to handle challenges, learn from her experiences, and ultimately aim for greatness in every game. It's this kind of mental fortitude that Jordan believes could make Caitlin one of the sport's most impactful players, inspiring generations to come. 7. Jordan's hopes for Caitlin's future. To wrap up his statement, Jordan shared his hopes for Caitlin's future in the sport. While he praised her for her achievements so far, he expressed excitement for what's yet to come. Jordan sees Caitlin as someone with the potential to achieve greatness, not just in terms of personal success, but in transforming the landscape of basketball. He mentioned that Caitlin's journey is just beginning, and that he believes she has the capability to inspire millions and make a lasting impact. Jordan is excited to see how she'll continue to grow, evolve her skills, and overcome new challenges. His hopes aren't limited to her winning titles. He wants to see her bring even more fans to women's basketball, shatter expectations, and proved that women athletes can be every bit as impactful as men. For Jordan, Caitlin's potential isn't just about basketball. It's about setting a new standard for the sport as a whole. And there you have it, Michael Jordan's take on Caitlin Clark, a rising star who's redefining the game with her talent, mentality, and influence. Keep an eye out. This is just the beginning of an exciting journey. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring sports stories.
When I was playing, I used to try to go look for suits, and regular places could never find them. And, of course, me being who I am, I could pay $15,000, $2,000 for a suit. But, I always thought that the big guys always had the options that were very bland, the plaids and the old school grandpa options. So I have the biggest purchase in Walmart history.
Really?
$70,000.
What did you buy?
$70,000. So I get
Walmart?
Yeah, Walmart. So I get traded from Miami to Phoenix, and I'm the type of guy I have no patience. So when I get to Phoenix, they have an apartment for me. Nothing's in it. So
especially because we climbed all the way back in and definitely had our opportunities late, and then a few different miscues, and it's back to a 2-possession game, and we couldn't quite get over the hump there. So, like AB said, it's a good little taste of what's possible for this organization and for this franchise, and there's a lot for us to hold our heads high about.
I was walking one day in Beverly Hills, and I found a wallet. Usually when I find wallets, I just take all the money out and just throw them.
Sure.
But this is a nice wallet, so I looked, and it said David Beckham. I was like, can't be. And I looked at the ID, and it was David Beckham. So I didn't want to just give it to the front desk, so I tracked him down. I was like, David. During the time, it was very traumatic.
Yeah.
And on the way to the surgery, he was very nervous, so I had to make up something. So this is a story I made up, because he was shaking and trembling. I said, hey, you're about to go to surgery. It's going to be a beautiful nurse come in. Her name is Anesthesia.
What's the difference now in this level of play, now that you're playing with these professionals versus who you play with and against at Iowa?
I would say the biggest thing is just you can't take a second off. No matter who you're guarding, no matter if you're on offense or defense, you breathe for 1 second and you're not looking at your man and she's on the other side of the court. So I think that's the biggest thing is everybody's so skilled. This is the most competitive league.
It's no secret that Shaquille O'Neal, towering both literally and figuratively in the basketball community, knows a thing or two about spotting talent. His journey from initial skepticism to full-blown admiration for Caitlin Clark's game has been nothing short of a fascinating trip down the lanes of credibility and skill. Shaq had his doubts, as any seasoned veteran might, but those doubts quickly dissolved once he witnessed Clark's dynamic on-court presence. Clark, with her killer instinct and jaw-dropping shooting range, didn't just catch Shaq's attention, she demanded it. O'Neal has been vocal about what makes Clark the real deal. It's not merely her stats or the points she racks up, it's the way she turns the game on its head, making each play look effortless. In Shaq's eyes, she combines the raw athleticism and strategic prowess that characterize future greats. To him, it's like watching a prodigy blossom into a maestro, one three-pointer at a time. Comparison between Clark and Reese. Now let's talk about the big elephant, or shall we say, the two towering flamingos in the room, Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Shaq's insights into the rookie race are as sharp as his elbows in the paint. He doesn't pull any punches while analyzing the fierce competition between these two burgeoning stars. While both Clark and Reese are phenomenal, Shaq points out that Clark has a certain edge. It's as much about presence as it is about performance. Furthermore, Reese's injury has unfortunately tilted the scales. For O'Neal, it's crucial not just to look at the numbers, but to analyze the impact. When Reese was sidelined, it became glaringly obvious how crucial she is to her team. But that gap also spotlighted Clark's consistency and resilience. O'Neal's breakdown is refreshingly candid, acknowledging Reese's undeniable talent while subtly nudging towards Clark's relentless grind and steadiness. He's not just giving props. He's opening the floor to fans and fellow athletes to appreciate the subtleties of the game and the players who play it. In a nutshell, Shaq's gaze doesn't miss a beat. Through his lens, we get a closer look at not just who is performing well, but who's poised to redefine the game. And in this rookie face-off, it's clear that he sees Caitlin Clark taking the driver's seat, at least for now. Shaquille O'Neal's perspective. When it comes to basketball, Shaquille O'Neal is nothing short of a legend. His insights can make waves whether he's on the hardwood or speaking from the sidelines. But recently, it's his admiration for Caitlin Clark that's been turning heads. Initially, O'Neal wasn't fully on board the Clark hype train. Maybe it was his natural skepticism, or simply the fact that it's hard to impress someone who's seen it all. Yet, as Clark continued to light up the court with her electrifying performances and relentless determination, Shaq became one of her biggest champions. So, what flipped the switch? For O'Neal, it came down to a few critical qualities that Clark embodies. First off, her unyielding work ethic. Shaq has often raved about her ability to take over a game, describing it as a blend of raw talent and unrelenting drive. He praises her vision on the court, her lethal shooting range, and that intangible it factor that makes spectators' jaws drop and opponents quake in their sneakers. In his words, this girl is the real deal. But you can't bring up Caitlin Clark without mentioning Angel Reese. The Rookie of the Year race isn't just a casual footnote. It's the headline, the drama, and the emotional roller coaster all rolled into one. Shaq's insights into this fierce competition are a masterclass in basketball analysis. He doesn't just see two players vying for an award. He sees two titans who are redefining what it means to be a rookie in the WNBA. According to O'Neal, Clark has an edge, a term he uses not lightly. It isn't just about stats or highlight reels. It's about Clark's ability to adapt, to lead, and to make clutch decisions in high-pressure scenarios. Reese, on the other hand, had her trajectory shaken by an unfortunate injury, and while she remains a formidable presence, O'Neal contends that these setbacks have impacted her momentum in the Rookie of the Year race. But here's where it gets interesting and a bit spicy. When the debate over who truly deserves the title kicks into high gear, Shaq is unwavering. He believes that had Reese stayed healthy, the competition would be even tighter, making the race more exhilarating for fans and analysts alike. O'Neal doesn't dismiss Reese's prowess. Instead, he acknowledges the what-ifs and could-have-beens that shaped the narrative, adding layers of depth and intrigue to the story. So, as the WNBA season unfolds, the world watches with bated breath. Will Clark continue her meteoric rise and secure the Rookie of the Year title? Or will Reese bounce back with a vengeance, adding a thrilling twist to the tale? One thing's for sure, Shaquille O'Neal's perspective has added another dimension to an already fascinating saga, igniting conversations that will echo through the halls of hoops history. Shaquille O'Neal's perspective. All right, let's talk Shaq, a legend in basketball, a titan with opinions that carry weight, and recently, a vocal supporter of rising WNBA star Caitlin Clark. When Shaq first laid eyes on Clark's game, he was skeptical. Like many, he wondered if the hype was real or just another flash in the pan. It wasn't long before Clark's court prowess erased any doubt. Her agility, sharp shooting, and game intelligence turned O'Neal from a skeptic into her biggest fan. Shaq now refers to Clark as the real deal, highlighting her ability to not just play, but to transform the game, breathing fresh air into the league. Admiration for Caitlin Clark. What does Shaq adore about Caitlin Clark? It's her unyielding tenacity and innate skill. Think of Clark as a maestro, orchestrating plays with a finesse that belies her years. O'Neal has seen his fair share of extraordinary talents, but Clark has a unique spark, a sort of magnetic charisma that makes you sit up and pay attention. He's particularly enamored by her long-range shooting and court vision, which remind him of players he once faced on the NBA courts. According to Shaq, it's as if Clark absorbs the energy of her team and remolds it into something greater, elevating everyone around her. No wonder Shaq's singing her praises like she's the next big thing, because to him, she already is. Comparison between Clark and Reese. Of course, the spotlight isn't solely on Clark. Enter Angel Reese, another phenomenal rookie who has been creating just as many waves. O'Neal's been pretty vocal about the rivalry brewing between Clark and Reese. And why not? It's the stuff of sports drama with a capital D. Shaq sees Reese as an incredibly versatile player, a powerhouse in her own right. But when you stack the two against each other, O'Neal believes Clark has a slight edge. The buzz has been even crazier with Reese dealing with an injury, sidelining her at a crucial moment in the season. Shaq doesn't dismiss Reese's talent, not for a second. but he points out how Clark's consistent, explosive performances have kept her a notch above in the Rookie of the Year race, at least for now. So, there you have it. Shaq's perspective brings a refreshing take on the Rookie of the Year race, and his admiration for Clark is more than just lip service. What we have here is a tale of two incredible athletes destined to reshape the WNBA, with Shaquille O'Neal amplifying their narratives. And in true Shaq fashion, his endorsement comes as a stamp of authenticity, making the case that these rising stars are not just the future of the league, but its present game changers. Advocacy for women in sports, equal pay and support. Shaquille O'Neal has never been one to mince words, and when it comes to women in sports, his stance is clear. It's high time for equal pay and support. Shaq has been vocal about closing the financial gap between male and female athletes, underscoring that the excitement and skill brought to the court by giants like Caitlin Clark deserve just as much recognition and compensation as their male counterparts. It's no secret that the pay disparity in sports is staggering. While NBA players often sign seven-figure deals, WNBA athletes are still struggling to secure financial stability. Shaq argues that equitable compensation isn't just about numbers. It's about respect and acknowledgement of the hard work these women put in and day out. He believes increased fan involvement is pivotal in making this shift. Fans have the power to transform the game, literally. Show up, buy tickets, wear the jerseys. That's how you make a statement. Response to Barkley's remarks. And what about the naysayers? In typical Shaq fashion, he's ready to face them head on. When Charles Barkley hinted at professional jealousy being the root of such advocacy, Shaq didn't hold back. "It's not about jealousy," he retorted. "It's about giving credit where it's due. Talent should be acknowledged, period." To emphasize his point, Shaq often cites the phenomenal A'ja Wilson, whose talents have been frequently overshadowed, despite her extraordinary impact on the league. He stresses the importance of highlighting diverse talents within the league, not just the ones grabbing the headlines. O'Neal sees figures like Wilson as prime examples of true sportsmanship and excellence, deserving of the same recognition and support afforded to any legend in the making. By standing up for female athletes, O'Neal hopes to inspire change, advocate for fairness, and ensure that every young girl aspiring to be the next Caitlin Clark or A'ja Wilson knows she has an equal shot at glory, recognition of talent in the WNBA, acknowledgement of players. Let's face it, recognizing talent in the WNBA is like finding hidden gems in a treasure chest. Every time you open it, there's something new and dazzling to be discovered. When giants like Shaquille O'Neal throw their voice into the mix, it amplifies the conversation about players who sometimes don't get their due shine. Sure, Caitlin Clark's name is echoing through the basketball community, but let's not forget the luminaries who've been carrying the torch for years, like A'ja Wilson and Diana Taurasi. These players are more than just stats on a sheet. They're the heartbeats of a league that's brimming with depth. Wilson, known for her resilience and all-around game, and Taurasi, a living legend whose play is poetry in motion, exemplify the level of talent that spans the WNBA. Shaq's recognition of these players is a reminder that talent runs deep and wide in women's basketball. It's a call to broaden our spotlight beyond the flavor of the season and celebrate the consistent excellence and contributions of all players. Earning respect. Shaq's perspective on merit-based recognition in the league isn't just talk. It's a blueprint for elevating the sport. His applause for Clark isn't merely for her current accolades, but for her relentless hustle and potential to etch her name alongside the greats. But it's not just about making it to the top. It's about staying there and proving that you belong. Clark is on a journey, one that's paved with hard work, perseverance, and the constant drive to excel. What Shaq's insights epitomize is the importance of earning respect through consistent performance and showing up when it counts. His message is clear. The league is bursting with talent, and every player has a shot at greatness if they are willing to put in the work. For the fans, it's a wake-up call to pay attention to the whole roster and appreciate the myriad of stories and skills on display. After all, every highlight reel has its unsung heroes and upcoming stars. It's high time we started celebrating them all. And there you have it, a roller coaster ride through the fiercely contested Rookie of the Year race and the passionate advocacy of one of basketball's biggest icons, Shaquille O'Neal. Through Shaq's eyes, we've delved into the brilliance of Caitlin Clark, watched the trials faced by Angel Reese, and got a taste of the broader challenges within the WNBA landscape. What stands out from O'Neal's controversial yet undeniably earnest perspectives is a clarion call for not just equality, but also respect for these phenomenal female athletes. Shaq's championing of equal pay, fan support, and merit-based recognition isn't just about highlighting a problem. It's about proposing a dynamic shift in how we engage with, support, and celebrate women in sports. As we reflect on O'Neal's trailblazing comments, we are left with a provoking question. Will the league embrace Shaq's insight and elevate the visibility of its game changers? The answer may hold the key to a transformational era in the WNBA, a future where talent is celebrated without reservations and every player's hard-earned accolades are acknowledged. That, my friends, is a future worth watching.